Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Snug Wrestling. On this episode, we are doing our weekly review of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. But this is a special Monday Night Raw, folks. This is the Go Home Raw for 2026's Royal Rumble. And tonight, we were live from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And we had a pretty interesting show. Top to bottom, show was pretty full. I wouldn't say this is a skippable show. There was definitely a lot of stuff in here that I thought made great for a go-home show, but it also didn't set up, in my opinion, a lot for the Rumble. It set up a lot of stuff for after the Rumble. So they're definitely looking down the road on this road to WrestleMania, but we had a pretty interesting show. I'm here with the boys, the full crew. Tonight, I'm Mr. Blood, obviously hosting tonight because Edgar was out on a family gathering for most of the show. So I will be covering tonight's events with Edgar standing in my place for his thought process. But I'm here tonight with the full crew. We have Toxic, a lovely play-by-play analyst. We have Tommy, our color commentator here on the show. We have Edgar, the host, the founder, the visionary, revolutionary of Snug Wrestling. And we have myself, former professional wrestler and lead analyst, Mr. Blood, here on Snug Wrestling. Guys, what did you think of the show? Toxic, take it away.
The show tonight was absolutely fucking beautiful. No complaints about it whatsoever, and it's, in my opinion, a great go home show for the one for the road to WrestleMania and to the Royal Rumble, which I am so excited for. Rumble. Rumble is my favorite time of the year. If you were to ask me what's my favorite season, like Christmas season, Halloween season, Easter season, it's none of those. It's Rumble season. Rumble season, WrestleMania season, Survivor Series, anything like that. Those are my go-to.
Oh, absolutely. This entire show was full of everything from the vision to Roman kind of type of thing. Had his short little thing. But Punk, AJ Styles, this sucker was full. There were questions that were absolutely answered. There were also questions that were still in effect from before as well, like who the hell called Adam Pearce? That question still has yet to be answered. But there was still a ton that were answered along with the entirety of the show itself.
Man, sounds like I missed a lot tonight, man. I was able to catch the main event, and just based off that main event alone, man, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. So I can't wait to hear what you guys thought about it, and I can't wait to get into all the details of this Monday Night Raw.
Well, we're going to start right now there, Edgar. Monday Night Raw kicked off as AJ Styles opened the show. He addressed the fact that he wanted to go out with a full year in 2026, specifically wrestling with, his oldest rivalries and a bunch of people he's never actually had the opportunity to face. He addresses the fact that he understands that his back is against the wall with Gunther, but he's not backing down from the challenge. And that is when he also says something that piqued all of our interest. You see, AJ Styles says he doesn't just want to face his favorite opponents. He doesn't want to just have new, never-before-seen matches. He also wants one more world title reign. And cue Cult of Personality, a.k.a. my ringtone, and CM Punk, the GOAT, my boy, the man who can do no wrong, comes down to the ring, CM Punk, to face AJ Styles in what has been a never-before-seen occurrence on WWE programming. Now, Punk comes out, and he already knows the crowd is ahead of him. You see, the crowd is already coming alive. Punk looks at him and says, hey, do you already know what I'm out here to say? I'll get to it. But he addresses AJ and Gunther and tells AJ, I can't believe you're doing this. You really want to risk it all against Gunther. even though we know that you had Gunther beat, but that's not what the ref's final decision is. You're risking it all. And AJ takes offense to that, wondering if CM Punk doesn't have faith in him. In what became a great promo exchange where they began to build, CM Punk says, well, no, that's not the case. I do want to face you, but if you get retired by Gunther, I won't get the chance. And then, speaking of chance, and by chance, I mean chant with a T and an S, the crowd comes alive and starts chanting, fight tonight, fight tonight. AJ goes, well, let's just say we did fight tonight. Let's just say we did. CM Punk cuts them off and says, if we fight tonight, it's going to be for the belt. Setting up the main event of AJ Styles' first time ever, at least on WWE programming, for the World Heavyweight Championship. They shake hands and the match is made official. Boys, what did you think of this opener?
Absolutely fucking amazing. I didn't expect AJ to kick off Raw. I actually thought it was going to be Punk that kicked off Raw, but technically I was right. And I knew that this was coming because I think it was like the night after, or the Monday after CM Punk won the World Heavyweight Championship when it was vacated. I remember him saying, oh, there's a list of people that I want to face, like Finn Balor, that was last week, AJ Styles, some other people that I'm not even going to remember. But it's cool that he kept his word and like, oh, I want to face these people, so I'm going to face these people. So I thought that was cool. And I was in complete agreement with the crowd the entire night. Fight tonight. If you're gonna have AJ retire, which is looking more inevitable at the point, you might as well do it tonight so we can get the banger done and over with. So yeah.
Oh yeah, when it comes to AJ Styles and CM Punk and everything that was said, I do understand where Styles is coming from, because his main thought process is, hey, he keeps disrespecting John Cena. He's not here to defend himself. I have basically been one of his biggest rivals and one of his biggest respecters as well. I'm going to defend him on his behalf, but I also get where CM Punk is coming from, mainly because of the fact that I don't think AJ has wrestled one-on-one with Gunther yet, has he? Besides that one last week? Yeah, besides...
Other than the one last week, no.
Yeah, other than the one last week, AJ hasn't gone one-on-one like that against Gunther, which my thought process goes, that's why he's mentioning this. Is because when CM Punk wrestled Gunther, he wrestled a whole different Gunther than AJ Styles did last week. So that's why he was bringing that up and asking what the hell he's doing.
So this is one of the things that I miss, unfortunately, but just based on what I'm hearing, I kind of agree more with what Punk's saying. Like, they're kind of making it seem like AJ Styles needs this match more with Gunther at the Royal Rumble than, the other way around. But, I mean, AJ could also be like, you know what? Even though the records book don't show that I was the one that won, I made you tap out. The whole world saw that you tapped out. Like a little bitch, whatever the case, So the fact that CM Punk was pointing that out, it's pretty on point. And I'm glad that they made the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, AJ Styles versus CM Punk, because I believe AJ said, I want to become World Heavyweight Champion at least one more time. So, okay, he gets another opportunity, and it made me wonder, like, what if he actually wins? If AJ Styles wins tonight, which is a long shot, that means that he has a chance to main event at WrestleMania, which means he has a chance to beat Gunther at the Royal Rumble. So every way I look at this, man, I'm all for it. We're going to have an amazing main event, AJ versus Punk. The world title's on the line. And it's high stakes. Anything can happen. So I was pumped for this.
I'd also like to note that at SummerSlam last year, Punk proved he can beat Gunther clean. So if Punk can beat Gunther, AJ proved he can also beat Gunther. Ref decision be damned. That means AJ stood a very good chance of beating Punk tonight. And I think that's why the crowd was so ready to see this match, because if we've learned anything in the last year, especially before WrestleMania 41 last year, they will switch that title at the drop of a hat. We saw it with Io and Rhea on a random episode of Monday Night Raw last year, right before Mania, about a month and a half beforehand, where Io actually took the title off of Rhea. So it wasn't a stretch to say that AJ quite possibly could have done the same thing here tonight. But we're going to move on from there. The first match we got of the night was a 6-woman tag match between Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez, Raquel Rodriguez, and they were versing Rhea Ripley, Io, and Stephanie Vaquer. Now, this match kicked off a lot of aggression. Now, this was set up because of the interference during last Saturday night's main event, where when the actual initial tag match was happening, the title match between Liv and Roxanne and Rhea and Io, we had interference from Raquel Rodriguez towards the end of that match, which prompted Stephanie Vaquer to reveal she's no longer injured in the boot, came out to even the odds, so to speak, against Raquel, and that wound up getting this match started, a 3-on-3. So the faces versus the heels, and what I feel was actually a mostly really good match. They spent a lot of the match isolating Io for as much as they possibly could. And we finally build up to a great hot tag from Rhea, which the crowd lost their fucking shit over. Now, by the time the match ended, the baby faces got the victory, and Liv was pissed. A big point to note here is that it also looked like Stephanie Vaquer might have re-aggravated her ankle during this match. So one has to wonder, is that going to wind up feeding into more issues later? But I'd also like to note, as a point that I have later here in the show, but I'm going to mention now, this also led to Raquel getting attacked by Stephanie after the match later on backstage, which then also prompted Stephanie to say, you know what, fuck all this noise, goes to Adam Pearce, and now we have a women's world title match officially made for next week on Monday Night Raw. So, boys, tell me what you thought of the match, and then let me know what you think about the match getting made for next week.
As soon as I heard that we were getting a 6-woman tag match with Rio and Stephanie and the Judgment Day, I was like, fuck yes, let me see it. And just as I expected, it was a banger. I mean, I never thought I would see these two work so good together, but Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer work so well together. I mean, I would just like them to have a one-on-one match. I mean, if you have to, like the week after Stephanie defends against Raquel, make Liv and Stephanie go one-on-one so we can just see that. And just so, I mean, that's classic heel work. Just have your partner or whoever it is, your friend, go after the person that you're feuding with so you can just have that. And the segment, it's I found that stupid because you just admitted and confirmed that Raquel Rodriguez is not winning the Royal Rumble. So you can scratch her out of your predictions if you were going to predict her, which I kind of was. She was one of my picks, but I digress.
You make a very good point. All the women in the Judgment Day are in the Rumble, but they basically just telegraph Raquel sure as shit is not one of the ones going over in that night. Tommy?
So, match itself, I absolutely loved it. Within these 6 women that are there, they are all absolute powerhouses in their own right. Especially Blood. You may not like her, but Roxanne Perez, even while she was on NXT, she was a powerhouse there. And she's finally starting to like speed up and get to that point where she's almost on speed with everybody else at this point, with her being called up when she was and everything else. But when it comes to that backstage segment, there is one thing that both of y'all forgot to mention, and that's the stipulation for that match. Boys, we are getting a Philadelphia street fight.
You are
Between
correct.
Stephanie
That is right.
Bacare and Raquel Rodriguez, and which means that's going to be an absolute bloodbath. That sucker is going to be brutal.
Well, you are correct, Tommy. I did forget to mention that, because the entire point of Stephanie going to Adam Pearce was she said, I don't want a match with Raquel. I want a fight. And Adam Pearce said, well, you came to the right place. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you're going to get. So, yes, it'll be a no disqualification Philadelphia street fight. But that also begs the question, do they take the title off of Stephanie in a shock, much like they did to Rhea with Io last year, and actually put it on Raquel, because no DQ means the numbers game is going to work against Raquel unless Team Rio does some backup damage.
Wait, so what did you guys mean by they telegraphed that Raquel isn't winning the Rumble?
Raquel is supposed to be in the Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble. By having her go for the women's title next week anyway, you're basically telling the audience she sure as shit doesn't stand a chance to win it this Saturday.
Oh, okay. Well, remember we talked about this last week, I believe, when we said, watch, they're probably going to make this title match like at a Monday Night Raw instead of like a PLE, right? So God forbid we give Raquel Rodriguez a decent spot on the card at a PLE, right? And then to top it all off, it's a street fight. So yeah, I don't know. I know that they've been building this up a little bit more and more, trying to get a little bit more heat on Raquel, making her look more vicious, attacking a injured and weakened Stephanie Bacare. But damn, already just like that, they haven't even had, they've had a few matches before, but that's it. Their first match after, all this that they've done to each other, boom, street fight. Okay, whatever. But as far as the match, the 6-women tag team match, it sounds cool that Stephanie Bacare got to mix it up with Liv Morgan. I wish I would have seen that. And what a fucking power team that is. Rhea, Io, and Stephanie Bacare. That sounds crazy. So yeah, that match sounded good. And, the little stuff that happened there with Liv Morgan getting upset there at the end, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like I missed a lot of good stuff here. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on in this women's division. Not bad. It sounds pretty decent, I gotta admit.
And it's funny because a few weeks ago I had said that when Raquel had initially jumped Stephanie on the stage when she came out to talk to Michael Cole or whoever it was, that I didn't see them ever giving Raquel a PLE spotlight. And lo and behold, this entire feud has taken place on Monday Night Raw, and the match that she's finally getting for that world championship is culminating on a Monday Night Raw. To build up a star, to build up a monster heel and not give them the biggest possible spotlight you can in a one-on-one scenario to truly showcase himself in front of an audience, you could argue that even though you want to maximize your minutes as a talent of any kind, it's also a hindrance because you're not putting her in the biggest possible position you can to succeed. And I think that's slightly a disservice to Raquel, for sure. So, any final thoughts on this, guys, before we move on?
Yeah, just really quick. I just want to say they just need to give her a better build-up for it to be good enough to be on a PLE, because this build-up hasn't been, I think it's, for what they've done with it, it fits more on a Monday Night Raw card anyway, if I'm being honest.
Very fair assessment. That was my initial feeling too. All right, coming up next, one of my favorite things on the show, a backstage segment between CM Punk and Finn Balor. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Finn shows his babyface side here initially. We get an actual peek at a Finn Balor babyface turn, what we at least thought. We'll get to the main event, But that's what we felt, because Finn comes up to Punk backstage and he essentially tells him, or Finn tells Punk, look, I wanted to tell you that you gave me my flowers in my hometown last week. You showed me respect after the match. I didn't lose, but you didn't gloat. You showed me grace. You showed humility. You showed me sportsmanship, and you gave me my flowers in front of my people. And I didn't get to return the favor, so I'm going to do it now. You are one of the best of all time. And he basically praises Punk. And then he says, I'm hoping for a rematch. And Punk tells him, well, I don't know if I can give you a rematch, because I got to be honest, Finn, everybody else is going to be in the Rumble. And if you want a rematch, you need to be in the Rumble too. And if you really want a shot at me, win the Rumble. But if you honestly want to be around the title picture more often, you need to ditch the Judgment Day. You can't be a main eventer and championship material hanging around scumbags like Dominic Mysterio. And then Punk walks off, but what you see is Finn Balor nodding his head in agreement with Punk. But before I pass it over, I'm going to fuse the other segment with this because it goes in junction. Later in the show, but because it's a continuance of this segment, Finn Balor can't get into the Royal Rumble. He goes to Adam Pearce, asks to be put in the Rumble to declare. Adam Pearce tells him, well, sorry, Finn. It's all booked up. When you called your shot against Punk for the world title, I filled your slot in the Rumble. So, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. Finn gets angry and goes, well, we'll see about that, and begins to walk away. And who is it that he runs into? None other than a very despondent Liv Morgan, who saw what Finn and Punk were talking about earlier in the night and states that we are a family. We're supposed to do this together. It's not just about what you want. It's about us. And Finn says, no offense, Liv, but you don't understand, and this has nothing to do with you. And he walks off, and Liv looks very pissed off after him. I sense a breakup coming very soon. But guys, I know this is 2 segments, but tell me, what did you think overall of this story of Finn Balor backstage, leaving out the main event for now?
I mean, there's not really a lot of thoughts about the first part of the segment with CM Punk and Finn Balor. I mean, it's just hey, you gave me my flowers. Okay, now I'm gonna give you yours. My focus is mainly on the other part, which is Finn can't get in the Rumble because it's full. Motherfucker, Finn was my Finn was my pick to win the fucking Rumble. So now I gotta think all over again. Which fucking sucks. But I'm actually excited to see where this goes, because I mean they can go multiple different ways. One of those ways I will get back to, because that corresponds with the main event. The second way is finally breaking up the fucking Judgment Day. I hate the Judgment Day now. I hate it now. I mean, just it's boring. There's the only thing that made it interesting, which really I don't even know how, is Dom. Dom was the only part that made it interesting. And now he's out with injury. So, I mean, just, I don't know. It's confusing, and just go wherever the fuck you want with this.
I will say the best version of the Judgment Day was the second iteration of the team with Damian, Rhea, Finn, and yeah, I guess you could say who else was there? R-Truth just sneaking in, and JD. So I guess the second iteration, in my opinion, is the best. This third iteration feels like it's lasted the longest and has kind of overstayed its welcome the most.
Yeah, I full-blown say, and the fucking Judgment Day. We've all been saying that for a while, that, well, fuck off, Snug. You may think differently on that one. But the Judgment Day as a whole just needs to disband. That entire story with the 3 different iterations of the Judgment Day is done. It's over with. Just end it. It's been around since fucking Edge came back at the Rumble 6 years ago. So end it, please. But when it comes to Liv and Finn in the back, there was one thing that Balor said that stuck out to me. He looks at Liv and just goes, "It's not that simple. You don't know what you're talking about." And him saying that makes me think he was on the edge. He really was. We'll get to that main event and what happened. But it makes me think that at that point, he was absolutely on the edge of going either way. He didn't know exactly which way he was going until later on.
Well, I think you guys might get your wish because it definitely feels like the Judgment Day is slowly starting to like fizzle out because Dom isn't there, JD isn't there. You know, Raquel's off doing her own thing, it seems like. So yeah, I think it's time. And I don't know if they're doing this on purpose. But I think it's time now, man. Like Blood said, if they overstayed their welcome. I don't really hate the Judgment Day like Tommy does, like end it now. No. But I think we're getting there slowly but surely. I also think it's dope that they're using Finn more in this, getting him involved with CM Punk, giving him a backstage segment with Punk, and him still having face to face with the world heavyweight champion. I think is dope. And also, they're also teasing something with Dominic Mysterio. You got to get rid of Dom, so we could see Finn go after the IC title too. But yeah, when I saw that backstage thing, I saw the clip of Adam Pearce telling Finn Balor, "Nah, the Rumble's full." I was like, "Wait, what the hell? What do you mean? Like, Finn Balor is Finn Balor? What do you mean he's not going to be in the Rumble? What the hell? That shit was crazy to me. I was kind of upset about that. But then they kind of made up for it at the main event, which we'll get into.
Well, let's put it this way too, guys. You know, when it comes down to it, even though the Judgment Day has overstayed its welcome, it's not their fault. A lot of its extension came down to injury. Nearly everybody in the faction, aside from Raquel, has had time on the injured shelf. I mean, this is JD's second injury. Liv went out for about 7 months it was. You know, we've lost different characters like Carlito. We've had Finn who went out for several weeks on injury too. Dom's been injured 3 times in the last year. So when it comes down to it, you know, it's not that we want it to just end. We want it to end, but with a good story. After about 5 or so years of the Judgment Day, it needs to go out in a culmination that makes sense, that's satisfying to the fans. I'm okay if they keep the story around till Mania to end them concisely at Mania, because I feel like a faction that's gone on this long with this amount of twists and turns, I think it deserves the biggest stage to say goodbye to the audience as a program. I'd also like to note before we move on, Finn's feelings towards Liv when he says, you know, it's not your concern, you wouldn't understand. You got to look at it from Finn's perspective. Finn was only ever world champion for 1 day. And it wasn't his fault that he had to drop it. It was Seth's. Liv got to be a world champion, and she held on to it for months. So Liv doesn't understand what it feels like to have the thing you worked your ass off and got ripped away from you, but it not be your fault. Liv may understand that with the tag titles, but not the world title. And that's being at the very top and having someone rip your legs out from under you the moment you reach the peak. So I'm excited to see where this goes for Finn as well. Up next, though, we had something that I feel was extremely underwhelming that actually irritated the shit out of me. The Vision come down to the ring because it's time that Adam Pearce does his face-to-face with Bron Breakker, who is now in this segment being lifted off suspension. Now, Pierce comes out. He acknowledges that he put his hands on Bron first. He apologizes. He says he's sorry. It'll never happen again. And while Heyman tries to, just kind of irk up the situation and piss off Adam Pierce more, Adam Pierce takes the wind out of Paul's sails and goes in, before you say anything, the whole group of the Vision is in the Royal Rumble, just as a make good to shut you the hell up, Paul. And then he says, in Austin Theory, I'm setting up this next match because, you know what, had the brass knuckles not been introduced by Logan Paul, you might have actually had a chance against the Hall of Famer. So you're going to get that rematch against the Hall of Famer right now. And then, of course, Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee all come down to the ring so they can have a one-on-one between Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio, which we're going to get to here in a moment. But this segment was a massive letdown because he then also said Bron Breakker is officially off suspension and hereby entered in the Royal Rumble. So now that world title contendership is back on the table, but that was it. We did not find out who the executive was that Adam Pierce spoke to. We did not find out if Adam Pierce was going to give more resistance. It was just, hey, shit, I'm sorry. You're all going to get rewarded. Okay, this is the upcoming match. And then the segment ended. We moved on. And I thought this was extremely underwhelming for something they had built up for like 2 to 3 weeks. And it really pissed me off. But guys, before we get to the match, what did you think about this?
So I was going to save this until Rumble predictions, but I'm going to just say it now. Here is why I don't think Bron Breakker or anyone of the Vision is winning the Rumble. Last week, I said that, or whenever it was, whenever we got the call, or whenever Adam Pierce got the call from the mystery caller, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, I said I thought it was Seth freaking Rollins. I think Seth Rollins returns at the Rumble and costs the entirety of the Vision the entire Rumble. So, and then obviously the Vision throws Seth out. So there you go. The segment itself, yeah, completely underwhelming because one, we didn't find out who the caller was, and two, I mean, he just rewarded them after they brought back Crash Out Adam Pierce. Remember that version of Adam Pierce? Whenever he needed a drink every single fucking night? Yeah.
So my biggest thing on this segment is simple. One, we didn't know who the hell called him. That is still a question that, like I said in the very, very beginning of this episode, that is one question that was not answered that still needs an answer. We all want to know who the hell called Adam Pierce. Plain and simple on that. But the other big thing is how he was with Braun. Because before that call, he got all pissed off and all of that. And yes, he did lay hands on him first, but still, he was in fighting mode. Like, he was about to strike. But that didn't end up happening. It was just, as right after that call, an instant flip for some bizarre reason. But another thing that happened later on in the show is a backstage segment type of thing with the entirety of the Vision, and something that Logan Paul said, and everybody in the Vision agreed to it, which is very interesting to me. It's like, we all are going to be in the Rumble, and there is one man that should win it. I thought he was going to say Logan Paul. I thought he was going to say me, but he didn't. He said Bron Breakker, and that is the Vision. Like, that is his exact quote there. So I find that very interesting that Logan Paul, of all people, is even agreeing that it should be Bron Breakker.
Yeah, and also Paul Heyman was talking on the phone to someone that whole time in that backstage segment later on, which, again, I knew that they weren't going to tell us anything about that. I knew we weren't going to find out who this mysterious person was that Paul Heyman called, right? Because that's too good to be true. But like, yeah, man, this segment sounds kind of shitty because this was just a way to get all of the members of the Vision in the Rumble. Okay, perfect.
Even though we all would have figured they would have all been in it anyway.
And it's like, okay, this to me just proves like, okay, what the fuck do we need Adam Pearce for in this case? If Paul Heyman can just call whoever the fuck he called and just get whatever done he wants whenever he wants, right? And it's just they just cut Adam Pearce's balls off on live TV.
Exactly.
Like I would have preferred if Adam Pearce was like, you know what? I know who you called, and I don't care what they say. I'm still the general manager, and Paul, me and that person will handle it like bosses do, and you stay out of the decision making of the show that is not fucking yours, Paul. What the yeah.
I mean, I genuinely hoped and thought that this was going to result in a match or something with Adam Pearce dusting off the boots against Bron Breakker. I didn't expect it to be a straight squash match, but I thought it was straight up leading to a one-on-one with Adam Pearce and Bron Breakker. People forget Adam Pearce. I'll say it the millionth time in a row. Former NWA fucking world champion. The man literally was the face of another company. The dude can go. Nick Aldis, also former NWA world champion, can fucking go. Had an amazing match against Cody Rhodes, you know, the face of this company, at the original All In. Like, people have to remember, these guys, I mean, if you saw it in that segment, look at the size of Adam Pearce. He's bigger than Bron Breakker. You know, so it's like, come on. To have this go out, I'm almost still hoping they pick it back up next week. And like maybe he's tempted to go out and stop them from doing something, but then he keeps questioning if he should get involved or not. I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do. I'm hoping so. But tonight it just felt like it fell completely flat. Guys, any thoughts on this before we continue? All righty. So we're moving on to the match that this segment created. That was the one-on-one match between Austin Theory and Rey Mysterio. The entirety of the Vision in Austin Theory's corner out at ringside, along with Penta and Dragon Lee in Rey Mysterio's corner. These guys had an amazing match. There's something about Rey and Theory. They've got real chemistry. We saw that over the last couple of weeks with these guys been in matches. They have real chemistry with each other. This match was a really good match. Wasn't like PLE levels or anything, but it definitely helped completely re-showcase Austin Theory as these last couple weeks have been doing since he has returned. And Rey Mysterio is fucking Rey Mysterio. What else do you expect? It's Rey Mysterio. He's great. They have a great match that ends due to distraction and then interference, which causes the win for Austin Theory. And Rey Mysterio goes down. And then that's not the end of it, because post-match, all of a sudden out of nowhere, when Penta is trying to help up Rey, Bron Breakker loses his shit and just completely ransacks Penta right over Rey Mysterio. There's a big, massive beatdown, the entire Vision on this team of Luchador, Lucha Libre, and it culminates in about 3 or so spears against Penta, as well as tsunami splashes. Rey Mysterio's getting broken down. It was a fucking massacre, and the Vision beat down these guys hard. But you know what they put over on commentary? Adam Pearce didn't come out to stop it. Adam Pearce did not intervene, and Corey Graves wondered if perhaps he was second-guessing getting involved after what happened with whoever he was on the phone with, which, again, still raises the question, who the fuck was it that can make him back down like that and not come out here and stop one of these 3 men from being injured at the hands of the Vision? Guys, your thoughts?
Not a lot of thoughts about the match. I mean, it was a good match. The outside of interferences, which that's to be expected because it's fucking Vision. That was annoying. The beatdown, that was annoying because just it's the Vision, and that's just what they do. I mean, they're basically you could say their tactics are like the Judgment Day. Whenever it was Damian, Rhea, Finn, Dom, and JD, and you can throw R-Truth in there too. But Yeah, that's what I basically get out of the Vision when they just beat down on their opponents after the matches. It's just annoying.
Yeah, it is always annoying. Why? Because it's literally every heel faction's move ever. Right after a match, attack. That is their entire thing. It's just in the heel faction guidebook at this point. But what I am finding interesting, at least that I'm thinking, is the fact that they love to build stuff up for during the Rumble itself. With the fact that we know all members of the Vision are going to be in there, and odds are those three luchadors will probably be in the Rumble as well.
They were already announced.
Yes. And we know now that they will be in the Rumble as well, which makes me think that when all of them enter, they're absolutely going to go at it. It is a Royal Rumble staple for something like that to happen. So I think that's what they're building up to for that next step.
Man, I wish I could have seen this match because the last time Ray and Theory faced each other, it ended in like a DQ or no contest or something like that. It was like Theory's second match, so I'm glad that Theory got another match, one-on-one match versus Ray, and he actually got the win. So that's cool to hear. I also saw a post online afterwards that Ray might have gotten injured during this match because the referee threw up the X at some point. Did you guys see anything about that?
All I saw was that when he was out at ringside during the match on the apron on the babyface side facing ramp, he was leaning up against the apron, looked like he was trying to take some pressure off his knee. And it looked like for a moment, I think Dragon Lee was trying to check on him and then got bulldozed, I want to say, by Bronson Reed. And it looked, but he got back in the ring and finished the match. But I didn't see an X get thrown, at least on hard cam. So
Okay. Well, hopefully Ray's okay, but when it comes to the Vision beating everyone up again, what are they, like the new NWO or something? Do they just call the shots and control their own creative and just do what the fuck they want on this show? Like, I don't know if this is the right type of heat you want to give them because it just makes Adam Pearce look dumb. The whole point of having security there that they use a lot all the fucking time, Adam Pearce going out there to try to control stuff and stop them from doing it. Now it's like, okay, we're just gonna let them do whatever they want. Like, there's no security. The general manager is not trying to control this thing. Nothing. It's just they're just allowed to go around and just beat everyone up. Okay, I guess. I mean, as much as I love Heyman and the Vision and everything, I don't know if this is such a good look.
Well, let's be honest. They're in a holding pattern because we're in that lull period where it's not a lull. We are on the road to WrestleMania, but the Rumble has to build up the overarching stories that will make their way to Mania. And then there's also that point in time in between the Rumble and Chamber. And then it's a month and a half until WrestleMania itself. So they are in a holding pattern, probably waiting to see what Seth is going to be up to, probably waiting to see what Brock is going to be up to. What is Roman going to be up to? We're trying to figure out all these pieces and lay the groundwork. So right now they're giving them a side quest while creatively they figure out what their actual end games are. But that being said, guys, we're going to go on to what was my least favorite thing on the show. Natalya gets a video package showcasing her new heel persona. You will love this, Tommy. She officially reveals herself no longer as Natalya, who is the veteran, trainer mentor. She would go out there and help you up and scrape you off and tell you to keep going and root for you. She goes, that's what Natalya would do. But Natty won't do that. Natty is here for it all, here to teach you a lesson. But however, what was stupid about all this is that I don't buy it from Natalya. because she's turned face and heel almost as many times the Big Show did in his career. But also, we don't get a real reason as to why she actually turned on Maxine, beyond the fact that, in her words, and I'm paraphrasing here, you weren't, you go out there and you think that you learn from me and you take what I give you, you go out there and you just think you're going to win, and you think you're going to basically just, I train you and spend all that time teaching you, and you go out there and you still can't get the job done. And so essentially I'm like, so you beat her up and turned on your own protege because what? You helped Becky cheat to beat her? How is Maxine supposed to get the job done, Natalya, when you helped the person she was facing win? So I thought it made absolutely no sense. I thought it was stupid. Thought the video package was corny. And I thought her reasoning was absolute horseshit. You can't get the job done because I turned my back on you and helped your opponent cheat to win, even though you had her for a 3 count when I helped her do it. But you can't get the job done, even though you beat her 3 times and one of those times is for the title. So this made no sense. But boys, what were your quick thoughts on this?
So glad that Natalya is no more and we have Natty back. Yeah, tell me shut up. And just I'm glad that both Maxine and Natalya, or Natty, or whatever the fuck you want to call her. Fuck you, Tommy. You're getting me. Just I'm glad that both of them have something to do, because Maxine, she was on an absolute like streak in my if that's what you can call it, with Becky Lynch. I absolutely loved their work together. But now, I mean, you finally bring Natalya out of catering, and here she is, something to do. But anyways, I also don't buy Natalya or Natty, whatever the fuck you want to call her, as a good heel, because I mean she's just gonna say you can't get the job done. But I mean, she helped Becky win, so like how in the fuck your brain is not braining? Make your brain brain.
It's about damn time we get Natty Neidhart in here. And for those of you who don't know the biggest difference between Natalya and Natty Neidhart, my suggestion to you, pull up clips from her recent GCW matches. You will know just by those alone what the difference is between nice, sweet Natalya and brutal Natty Neidhart. So
Also, her matches in AAA too have been good.
Yeah, those as well. Like, those are 2 companies that have fully let her be Natty, but WWE stuck her as Natalya for all this time. And welcome, Natty Neidhart. Now deal the damage you should have done a while back.
Yeah, I don't care for this. No comment.
Yeah, it's funny. They're dusting her off the shelf to give her a run that she should have had 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. But at the ripe age of 42 years old, she's now getting a push. Speaking of ripe ages, and we're going to get into something here in a minute, revolving around ages, because I think it's actually extremely important and very, very relevant to the topic. We had a backstage sit-down interview with Gunther. Michael Cole interviews Gunther and asks him, why are you doing this? Why not just give AJ Styles the rematch? And Gunther laid it out simply. There was nothing in it for me. If I've already proven I can beat him, Paul, that's just cap. But if I beat him now, there's something in it for me. I can beat him and take his career. He straight up said Gunther's reasoning for all of this was, I took Goldberg's career. I took John Cena's career. I made him tap. I took away the one thing that he said he'd never do, and I made him do it, and I took that from the fans. He's no longer their superhero. And he said, the reason I'm going after AJ is because I am sick of all these old timers that are sticking around, taking all these moments that should be meant for me. You're all taking up spotlight, taking up time because you want one more moment in the sun. You want to overstay your welcome. You don't know when to walk off into the sunset and get out of the spotlight for someone else to have it. And AJ is one of those guys, and that's the mission I'm on now. If you are here to take spotlight and take my moments from me, I'm here to take you out, essentially. But I'd like to note here a couple of names in WWE that fit that mold now or are very close, gentlemen. Damian Priest is 43 years old. Finn Balor, 44. CM Punk, 47. Brock Lesnar, 48. And that one's important because rumor has it they have their first match at WrestleMania this year. R-Truth is 54 years old, the oldest active competitor on the WWE roster. Shinsuke Nakamura is 45. Rey Mysterio, 51. LA Knight is 43, and Kofi Kingston is 44. And Randy, I didn't write his down, but he's around 45 to 46 years old. So there's a lot of, let's say, seasoned vegetables in the garden for Gunther the Gardener to pluck and throw in the trash bin. And if he's on a tear for people stealing the spotlight, he's got a lot of names on this list to choose from. Gentlemen, what did you think of this segment and your thoughts?
Okay, so this is also this is stupid. This is stupid, and it's not just because I hate Gunther. It is actually fucking stupid. Because one, isn't Gunther himself in his 40s?
He's like 37 or 38.
I swear he was in his 40s last time I checked. Anyways, I digress from that.
That's just the wrinkles from all the fat he lost.
Anyways, just it's stupid because how? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why? That's how much it doesn't make sense to me. I can't even get words out. And there's also like one other name that people are forgetting that he retired. He retired Pat McAfee.
Well, he really didn't, though. Pat's on a mental health break from WWE. He was burnt out. That's why he left.
I know it was a joke. Anyways, I say that because he told Michael Cole that he will swipe that chair out from underneath him and end his career right then and there. What are you gonna do? Pull another Pat McAfee and like beat up a commentary just so you can get a world title opportunity?
Corey Graves ain't saving him. Corey Graves retired due to neck injury.
Oh God, Gunther just wants to retire everyone. At this point, just make like a gauntlet turmoil match and have everyone in the fucking company against Gunther and just retire them all. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Obviously. But I'm just curious to who ends this career killer Gunther? Who ends the career killer Gunther? Because I mean, just if you want to have him get rid of a bunch of old timers, who's the one to get rid of him? So that's a serious question that I will think about.
I think that's what Brock Lesnar's point of contention is going to be. You want to retire everybody? Try your hand at me. So let's see how far you get. But I'd like to note before Tommy goes, someone made a very good point on Busted Open Radio today, and it was Baron Corbin, known as now Bishop Corbin, I believe. And he said, within the next 5 years, you have to look at the roster today and realize that nearly everybody at the top of this card will not even be active competitors in 5 years. Gunther's gimmick makes so much sense because somebody has to weed out the garden. Somebody has to clip the hedges so the new growth can come in. Do you think Punk's got another 5 years in him? Hell no. Damian? No. I mean, you might have one or two of these guys that stick around, for 4 or 5 matches a year and come out kind of like how they dust off Natty, or how they were dusting off Mark Henry and Big Show in their final WWE runs every now and again. But think about it, guys. Not a single person in the main event that is a veteran in this company is going to be an active competitor in 5 years. Not in the main title picture. They sure as shit will be in the undercard or in the mid card to job out and enhance talent. So think about that, Tommy.
So there was one thing that Gunther did also say to Michael Cole that really tipped me a little bit. And that is when he looked at Michael Cole and said, I want to hear what you have to say on commentary completely. I want to hear it. But the biggest words I want to hear out of your mouth is that the phenomenal AJ Styles' career is over. And him saying that makes me think they are really, really digging into that side with Gunther right now, which does make me think I don't want it to end. I really don't. But the biggest problem is the contract that reports are having, saying that his contract is over unless he files an extension in February, which means Rumble, we might be out of AJ Styles.
Yeah, we'll save that probably more for predictions for the Rumble, because I have thoughts on that too. But Toxic brings up an excellent question. That was one of the things that I was wondering. Yeah, man, people are going to be dropping like left and right when it comes to retirement around this time. If we're talking about former champions, I would also put Kofi Kingston and Jey Uso on that list. I'm pretty sure Jey Uso's up there.
Well, no, Jay and Jimmy just turned 40 last year.
Oh, okay. So they probably still got...
Kofi's turned 44 in August.
Okay. So, yeah, maybe the Usos got, a little bit longer time, but even Penta's in his 40s already. Yes. I think he's actually 40. So, yeah, man.
When I was compiling this list, what surprised me, I already know Asuka's 45. You know what surprised me? Nia Jax is 40.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. So, Natalia's 43. There's going to be a lot of changes in the next 2 to 3 years, boys. That roster will not look recognizable in 2 to 3 years. A lot of those people you guys are praising on NXT right now, that you and Tommy do those great Wednesday night reviews on, that you can check out on our Apple and Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Those are going to be the future faces of regular Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown television in 2 years. Those PLEs are going to start having a lot of different names that you just don't recognize. It'll be the largest mass exodus in talent that we have seen in a long time.
Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, although I really love this gimmick, if you want to call it that they're doing for Gunther, as him being the one to retire all those people, at some point, I think Toxic is right. They're gonna have to find that one person to be like, okay, we're gonna stop Gunther's reign. We're gonna have to defeat this guy who just keeps taking out all of our heroes. And whoever that is, it's gonna be a big fucking deal. Whoever that is gonna put them over in a big way if they're able to defeat Gunther whenever that happens somewhere down the line. So I think it works well for Gunther. And also down the line for maybe a future potential star, which is why I don't think that honor should go to Brock Lesnar. But I think we'll see what happens with that. I think we're getting a little bit too ahead of ourselves, but it's very interesting, I think.
I definitely see Gunther going for Roman Reigns this time next year. I think it's Gunther versus Roman at Mania 43 in Saudi. I think Gunther's coming. You're a part-timer. Why don't I just put you out to pasture? I can see it. All right, guys, we've only got 2 segments left, and this was one of my favorite things on the show. A fatal 4-way tag team #1 contendership match between three heel teams in that of American Made, The New Day, Los Americanos, with one babyface team being Alpha Academy. Now, you look at a match like this, guys, and you're just like, oh, piss break, skippable. And you'd be fucking wrong, because the crowd might have been the hottest of the night on this match. And in many points, they were louder for this match than the main event. This might be my second favorite thing on the show. We had a great tag match here. The standout performances were American Made, who have not been getting the due. When they first came up to the roster, guys, they were touted as the next big things. These two boys, all freaking All-American wrestlers, they are great. Brutus and Julius Creed. And when it came down to it, they were wrecking shop the whole match. They were in control majority of this match. New Day took the time to do the majority of the heel tactics, distracting the ref, interference, sliding in, pulling people out. But the standout MVP of this match, which I've been screaming his praises, Akira Tozawa, stole the show. When I straight up said, you don't know how good Akira Tozawa is until you have seen his shit outside of WWE. And then commentary mentioned it too, said at one point Akira Tozawa was the hottest free agent in professional wrestling, which he was at one point before NXT scooped him up. And in New Japan, over in Japan, he is considered a veteran and a legend on the Japanese professional wrestling circuit. He is that damn good. And tonight we got to see him let loose this amazing drop down wheelbarrow slide between the legs, flip around, turns it into a giant stalling German suplex, massive senton catching air for the win. It was an incredible match. Alpha Academy are now the #1 contenders for the Usos Tag Team Championships. Jey Uso was ringside for this match and even super kicked Grayson Waller over the security barrier for constantly interfering in the match behind the ref's back. And then he fist bumps Alpha Academy respectively. And now we know who is next in line for a title shot once Jimmy gets back. Guys, your thoughts?
I am so glad that Alpha Academy won this, but unfortunately they won't be winning next week. They will just be getting added to the list of the new inmates of the Uso Penitentiary. I don't know how to say the word.
Penitentiary. You were so
there
close.
We go. There we go. I fucking hate being dyslexic. Anyways, to describe how I feel about this win, there is just two parts, and just they're both for both members of the Alpha Academy. One, they misuse Otis so much that you forget he is a former Money in the Bank winner. That is just insane. I reminded myself about that while watching this match. I'm like, holy shit, he's a former Money in the Bank winner. And for Tozawa, I'm gonna steal something from Big E real quick. Oh, Toronto! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for the power of Tozawa. I am so glad that they won this match.
Oh, I absolutely am as well. I'm so happy that the Creeds actually got fucking used for once for a hot minute, other than slight backstage segments where they're just in the damn background. So they're actually being used in the ring. And what I find very interesting is the fact that there was no silliness whatsoever when it comes to the Alpha Academy. It was just full-on seriousness from both of them. There was no caterpillar. There was no nothing.
There was a
definitely
caterpillar.
was. There was a whole lot of silliness in this match.
Well, he's talking about American Made. American Made silliness was gone. But yeah. I would like to point out something here as well. Notice how Otis wasn't wearing any of the Alpha Academy gear, but Tozawa was. Notice how Maxine was not down there to support her friends. Notice how Ivy Nile was not down there to support the Creed.
Correction, blood. Ivy was down there.
Was Ivy there? I did not see her.
Yes, you could see her before the super kick from Jay.
Okay, she's so short, but she's adorable. But when it came down to it, this is the best the Creeds have been used since before Chad Gable went out on injury. I think we can agree on that. They were not goofy, wearing cut-down T-shirts, weird sunglasses. Like, WWE was like, you know what? None of that shit giving them personality is working because it's just fucking cheesy. Let them go out and do what they do best, and that's wrestle aggressively. And they, to me, ran roughshod all over this match in the best way possible. But Tommy, please finish your thought.
But overall, I am just so happy that the Alpha Academy is being used, and they are being used extremely seriously, because just like when it comes to American Made and all of that without Chad Gable, they've also been used sparingly without Chad Gable there as well. So with the fact that they are now the #1 contenders for the tag titles up against the Usos, that is one match that I am nonstop going to be extremely excited for.
I think WWE is starting to realize that not everybody needs a fucking comedy gimmick. And not every mid-card or undercard team needs to be a goofy or a crazy gimmick like the Wyatt Six. And, we got to make Soul and the MFTs comedy relief. And, we got to make American Made comedy relief. And Akira Tozawa and Otis are comedy relief. And the New Day do goofy, dark comedy relief along with Grayson Waller, who's comedy relief. They're like going, why don't we just let these guys go out there and show how athletic they are and how competitive that they can be in a match? And tonight, this was, in my opinion, a step in the right direction.
Well, I hate to piss on your guys' Cheerios, but the only thing that Akira Tozawa stole from me was my time watching this bull crap.
Oh, please.
Look, okay.
He stole your heart and you know it.
The Usos, fuck no. The Usos, I wasn't really mad that, Jay went back to the tag team division. There's a lot of people that were like, oh, they got demoted. Oh, what happened to main event Jay Uso? And I was like, nah, just you wait and see. They're going to be tag team champions. They're going to do some good shit. There's nothing wrong with the Usos being the tag team division. And the first thing they do is they put them versus Otis and Akira Tozawa. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm sorry, Jay. I can't take this serious. I feel bad for you now. Officially, I'm starting to feel bad. But I do got to be honest. I was really impressed by American Made. Brutus has been, he's looking in way better shape than ever before. So I thought that was really good. I wanted them to win, if I'm being honest. I would have loved to seen this newer version of American Made versus the Usos. I think that match would have been a lot better than whatever the fuck it is we're going to get. Yeah, and this whole time, I couldn't stop thinking about Chad Gable during this match because, we see Alpha Academy come out with their same song, that they've always had when Chad Gable was with them. And then American Made comes out and they have their song that they also came out. And I'm like, man, Chad Gable is written all over this match. For me, that's just what I, was thinking throughout this whole time. But nah, man, I was not a fan of this match.
Do you know why Akira and Otis went over? It's because when American Made did every fucking thing they could. Remember when American Made got introduced as a babyface team? The crowd loved them because their athleticism was insane. Julius would do those crazy constant kip-ups in a circle back over and over and over again. They loved their finish. They loved them together. And then they were off TV for months and they become the heel backup for Chad Gable. And then they got no fanfare for the longest time. Then when Chad leaves, they go, hey, Ivy, when I come back, all y'all better be champions. And you guys, Ivy's in charge. Listen to her. And then all of a sudden it goes nowhere after 2 weeks. They're off TV for months and months and months. So tonight when they were tearing it up, the crowd gave them no fanfare. The crowd didn't even boo them when they took all the teams down and started pulling down their singlets and screaming. Alpha Academy is the most over team in this match. They're the most beloved because the New Day are heels. Otherwise, it would be the New Day. But they're the most over, the ones that everybody loves because they're underdogs. That's why people gravitated to Maxine. So you want a match where the crowd doesn't know who they want to win. The Usos, a team they love, or Alpha Academy, a team they love. And when it comes down to it, I think this is the perfect time to put the tag titles on Alpha Academy and then have Jay snap on Jimmy, which is what I'm hoping this is for. But now we move on to the main event. And what a main event this was. The best in the world, CM Punk versus the phenomenal AJ Styles in a one-on-one match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And boy, oh boy, what a fucking match. You know, I'm happy to say within the last year, I can't think of a single dream match we've actually gotten that is disappointed. We have had some incredible dream matches in the last year, and this one is no different. This match was amazing. It was a little slow as they felt each other out, wrestled their technical style, reversing but showing respect to each other. At one point, AJ looks like he's almost down for the count, but Punk sets up for the go to sleep and then realizes, wait, AJ's still getting back up. I got to keep working on this guy, and hits him with a running enziguri. The commentary put it over as, well, CM Punk is showing respect to another veteran, knowing that it's going to take a lot more than that to put AJ away. And this whole match was built on their respect for each other. Both of them know just how good the other one is. Neither of them want to take a cheap way out. Neither one of them want to make it easy. From what was a great fucking near fall inside the ring from a Styles Clash to an amazing GTS outside the ring where AJ sold it perfectly by slamming the cell into the barricade and barely beat the 9 count to what wound up being a great finish. Oh, wait, it wasn't a finish, was it? Because, like we've been building up all episode, we get the run-in interference from none other than Finn Balor, whom, in my opinion, made the end of the show. He runs in. He doesn't go for AJ Styles. He relentlessly and mercilessly attacks CM Punk. What we thought was, at the start of the show, Finn possibly starting to turn face from how he interacted with CM Punk, turned very quickly into rage as he mercilessly beats Punk down over and over and over again. And then not one, but 2 shotgun drop kicks into the barricade that were so aggressive, it blew the back of the barricade off twice, with 3 coup de grace to go off the show. They have solidified our boy Finn Balor. He is currently in the main event scene, and deservedly so. They did not give him a one and done in Ireland. They are keeping this man right where he is for the time being. Very happy with this. Gentlemen, what did you think to end the show?
This match was just a fucking banger. Like, I was laser focused, trying to point out every single detail. Not that I don't already do that during all the matches, because why the fuck not? But this one felt different. This felt different than Finn Balor versus CM Punk. This one felt different than Bron Breakker versus CM Punk. This felt different. And I say that because it's not really a match if you think about it. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles versus CM Punk. It wasn't really a match just to see, oh, can AJ beat them? No, Shinsuke and Punk were testing Punk to see if he's ready for Gunther. Like, we know he's ready for Gunther, but is he really ready? This match was so good. I mean, just the GTS on the outside, I genuinely thought that Styles hit his head so hard on the barricade that I thought, like, he was injured or something. I don't know. But this match was amazing. And then the finish, I was fine with the finish because it protects Styles and it gets a feud with CM Punk and Finn Balor that I hope happens at the Rumble, and I hope that gets announced on Friday. I don't know why it would, but I hope. I just hope to God because that's where this needs. Excuse me. That's where this needs to happen. And I don't think that they do a one and done. Like I think they have like at least two more matches. But actually, wait, no. I think they have one match, and I wouldn't do it at Chamber. If anything, I would have Finn win the Chamber and go on to face Punk at Mania to take the title off of Punk. That would chef's kiss. What a banger way to end the show. Also, the coup de grace, the second coup de grace, where it hit Punk in the side. I was like, when you see like wrestling moves that just look like they genuinely hurt.
It was a
That's
little too snug.
if you can say that. And then both of the both of the shotgun drop kicks into the barricade. My God, I don't want to take that.
So I thought that was going to be Gunther, mainly because of the fact that what I legitimately thought was going to happen is that Gunther was going to come in and attack Styles leading up to their match at the Rumble. That's what I thought was going to happen. But that did not end up happening. And when it comes to Balor, I was going to bring this up earlier, but since we're slightly talking about Balor now, I'm going to bring it up here too. There's a loophole when it comes to the Rumble. The exact same way we all of a sudden got ISO speed in the fucking Rumble. Somebody comes out.
Taken out.
Yeah, and that gets taken out right as they come out. Enter Finn Balor right there into the Rumble. There's that there. So, match itself, absolute classic. AJ Styles, I cannot name, as of recently, any bad matches that man has had within the last year. Not once. CM Punk, constant bangers. That's just how he is. So, this is going to be very interesting how in the world this goes. But I can tell you also, Tox, unfortunately, this would not happen at the Rumble because we already have our form.
What a lovely, lovely main event this was, you guys. Jesus Christ. Everything about this was amazing. I'm glad that out of everything on the show, I did not miss this one. I was able to catch this. Because everything about it was just fucking dope. I was also expecting Gunther as well. Because midway through the match, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're going to do. Gunther's going to cost AJ Styles the title, which is going to heat up their match even more at the Rumble, right? Classic booking 101 that we've seen millions of times. But no, it was fucking Finn Balor, and I was like, holy shit, okay. I can get behind this too. It was unexpected. Finn Balor is still trying to get his foot in the door in that main event title scene. It was lovely. And the match too, two guys that respect each other, Punk and AJ. But during the match, there was a point in the match where I felt like, hey, respect out the door. This is a fight. This is going to be a match. And I thought that was fucking lovely, man. It was hard hitting. These guys were giving it their all because it was the main event for a world title match, and that's what it felt like. But yeah, lovely fucking main event match. The other thing, the last point that I thought about watching this match was the last two matches CM Punk has had, he's kind of been the heel. If you think about it, Finn Balor was in his hometown. Last week, everyone was pretty much, for the most part, cheering for Finn. I'm sorry. And then this week, you put Punk versus AJ Styles, who's getting ready to retire. We don't know if it's at the Rumble or at some point this year, right? And the people right now love AJ Styles because these are the last matches that we're going to see with him. So for the most part, people were cheering for AJ Styles. So I thought that was pretty interesting, the position that CM Punk has been put on these past couple of weeks. But man, this shit was so fucking dope. I absolutely loved it.
Yep, and the final bit of business is we did find out the start time for Royal Rumble this weekend. 11 o'clock a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock noon Central. Why? Okay. And apparently they built an entire fucking arena for this show in Saudi Arabia. Why? You know what I don't trust? A building that wasn't there before Thanksgiving. You know what I don't want to do? Sit 100 feet up in the air in some scaffolding that didn't exist during Halloween. Because if you built it that fast, I'm worried about shortcuts, safety violations. Is that Scotch tape? You know, I'm not looking forward to. Is that crazy glue?
Dude, I had the same thought.
God, if it starts raining, shit's going to start falling over because that fucking glue and duct tape's going to start dissolving.
I wonder if they
held together by spit and dreams.
I wonder if they built that too for next year's WrestleMania.
That's exactly what I thought. I guarantee it serves two purposes because the amount of business and money that they're going to do. The Saudi government probably thought that the cost of them having it built over there doesn't compare to the amount of money that WrestleMania and the Rumble will bring into Saudi itself in the next year. So,
it also explains why they're spending so much money to get a massive yeah sign for the fucking wall, along with a massive Roman Reigns hand into the venue itself as well.
Blood money, Tommy.
Hey, man, I haven't made cash all day. I spend $1, call that blood money. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Monday Night Raw. That was the review for the show, the go-home show that didn't really fully feel like a go-home and more of a setup for the future of the road to WrestleMania, but I digress. If you like kicking it with us, guys, you can do it every Monday and Friday night after Raw and SmackDown go off the air respectively on YouTube Live, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook Live for post-show reviews. And for bonus content, we do segment-to-segment live reaction content on all of our social media, headed up by Edgar for every single show. And you guys can kick it with us every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on all those same places. That's YouTube Live, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook Live for the NXT show reviews, as well as this Wednesday, we will be doing predictions for the Royal Rumble, which will be this Saturday. And after that Royal Rumble will be a post-show review, but later in the evening because we have a life to live during the afternoon when the show is over. However, every Thursday night on TikTok Live, you can catch myself, Mr. Blood, and the head of Snug Wrestling, Edgar, where we do our one-on-one hour streams for relevant or random wrestling topics, and we answer your fan questions live. And finally, to support your favorite professional wrestling podcast, head on over to our TeePublic/Snug Wrestling to pick up your wrestling merch. We have over 100 different designs specifically for the podcast, inspired by some of your favorite wrestlers, classic tees, and our own spin on classic wrestling apparel. You can head on over there for that. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. Thank you for letting me guest host tonight, Edgar. It was a lot of fun. And boys, that was one time for the one time. I said that was
4 letters. One word.
One word.
Yeet.